Hey everybody, welcome to our Glitterific Pop Pumpkin Painting Michael's class. We're so excited to have you all with us today. My name is Emma Panuski. I'm a content creator here at Plaid, and I am super excited to paint this really cute pumpkin with you all today using FolkArt Glitterific Pop. So if you, before we get started, really, I should say that if you have any questions or comments, then make sure to list them in the chat. Stephen is joining us today from Plaid to answer all of your project and product related questions. If you have any difficulties throughout the class, technical difficulties, then make sure to also list those in the chat. Maria can help you for Michael's. So we're really excited to have them with us today. So let's go ahead and get started, you guys. We're going to be using a brand new product line that FolkArt released this year. It is called FolkArt Glitterific Pop. So if you are a Glitterific fan or you are a glitter lover, then you will be really excited to learn about this product. It is 12 different colors of our Glitterific Pop. They come in these little 2-ounce bottles. Just like Glitterific, they are multiple sized pieces of glitter suspended in a clear base. So a little bit different from our traditional Glitterific. These are suspended in kind of a milky base, but they dry totally clear. And you can see from some of our finished projects here, they dry to this really glossy finish. It's really, really beautiful, and it's super easy to use. It's water-based, it's non-toxic, and it's a great fun ways to add a touch of glitter to any of your projects. And that's what we're going to do today with this really cute Halloween inspired pumpkin. So to follow along with us today, you're going to want to have a faux pumpkin. We already went ahead and base coated this with our FolkArt Baby Pink. So we have that with us today. You're also going to want to have your Glitterific Pop. So we are going to be using Neon Explosion and Black Ice, but really if you want to change this design to fit your own personal home decor or whatever your personal taste is, then you can use really any of these Glitterific Pop colors and that will be beautiful. We're also going to be using FolkArt Bright Pink, FolkArt Licorice, and FolkArt Wicker White. But of course, if you want to change up those colors to fit your very own design, then please feel free to do so. We're also going to have some just regular printer paper to trace our design, a pencil, some scissors, some flat paint brushes, a water basin, paper towels, something to cover your workspace, all of that good stuff. So let's go ahead and get started, you guys. So we already base coated our pumpkin. So our next step, we are going to trace some little spooky Halloween inspired emblems to then trace onto our pumpkin. So we're going to take a piece of printer paper and a pencil. And something that I like to do whenever if you are not the best drawer in the world, then this is a really great tip if you're trying to make a really perfect symmetrical design. So we're going to start by drawing our little bat. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the bat wing and make one big curve like that. And then come down right here to start with the wing. Then we're going to go up, make these little curves. Now we're going to focus on his head. So the side of the head there, then come down for his ear and then go across. So now that we have the left side of our bat completed, I'm going to fold my paper in half, making sure that we got most of that pattern that we just drew. And I'm going to take my scissors and go ahead and cut that design that we just drew and then folded it in half.
Emma, I love that technique. That is something I never would have thought of. I would have sat there and tried to draw the whole bat and it wouldn't have turned out the way I wanted it to. So I am thankful for this.
Good. It's definitely a handy little tip to know. You could also just go ahead and draw the entire bat and then fold it in half. If you're happy with your initial bat pattern, and then when you fold it in half and cut like we're about to do, then you can kind of pick your favorite side of the bat and then it'll be symmetrical no matter what.
So we have a question from Debbie. Did you do anything to prepare the pumpkin surface, or did you paint directly onto it?
That is a great question. So the great thing about these fake pumpkins that we get right at Michael's is that they're really easy and ready to start painting on immediately. So we actually didn't do anything to prep our surface. The FolkArt matte paint brushes onto the fake pumpkin beautifully. So you can just go ahead and start painting. It's a great question. Okay, so we'll unfold our little bat guy and we're left with a perfect little bat pattern. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our base coated pumpkin. I'm gonna lay him down there and just using my fingers to hold it in place, we're gonna take our pencil and trace our design. Another great thing about the Glitterific Pop is that it is multi-surface. So you can paint it on, of course, a fake pumpkin like we're doing today. It works great on canvas, wood, terracotta, paper mache, glass, metal.
We have another question. Do you have any advice on how to prep a real pumpkin for painting?
That is a great question. So one thing I would say is that your pumpkin will definitely last longer if you don't hollow it out first. That's just the nature of a real life pumpkin. So I probably wouldn't hollow out my pumpkin. That way it just stays how I want it to look for as long as you can. But you definitely want to take like a wet paper towel or something like that and really wipe down the surface of your pumpkin, because sometimes there can be just a little bit of debris if you get it from your local grocery store or a pumpkin patch or a farmer's market or something like that. So just make sure to wipe it down with a damp paper towel. I wouldn't hollow it out, but if you want to hollow it out, that's totally fine too. Okay, so when we lift up our bat, our pattern is transferred over to our pumpkin. So now ready to start painting. So I'm going to go ahead and apply some of our FolkArt Licorice to this paper plate that I'm using as my palette today. And I'm going to take a number 8 flat brush, just a small flat brush. I'm going to start filling in that design. And I'm using the edge of my brush to get those really straight lines as we kind of come up to the edge of our pattern here, holding my brush perpendicularly, just like that.
So Emma, I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. I know you're still working on painting your bat shape right now, but did you use the same color of Glitterific for the ghosts and the bats, or did you swap it up? Because I know we have a lot of colors of Glitterific Pop.
Yeah, that's a great question. So there are actually 2 different colors. For the bat, we used Black Ice, and for the ghost, we used Neon Explosion. And that's also just because whenever I'm painting Glitterific Pop on top of an existing paint color, I like to pick colors that work well together. So of course the Black Ice has really beautiful black pigments in the glitter selection. So I chose to paint that on top of my black bat. And then our Neon Explosion has some really pretty pink and yellow and kind of coral glitters in it. And I thought that would be really cute on top of the white ghost, and it would work really well with the other pink colors that I used in the pumpkin. So for example, if you were painting this same design or whatever design that you want to paint, and maybe it's like a purple pumpkin and you use a lavender color for the base of the pumpkin, and then you want to paint some dark purple accents, then maybe our Galaxy would work really well, or our Unicorn Magic, because they have those blue and purple glitters in the formula. But again, it's totally up to you. I would say that all of the Glitterific colors, all of the Glitterific pop colors work really well on top of white because, you know, white kind of goes with everything. So if you're just kind of dabbling and you want to test it out and you're not sure what colors would look good together, then that's always a great guess. But they look really great on dark or light colors of really any color that you can kind of see in the glitter. And the great thing is on the labels, you can see the assortment of glitters that you'll find in the paint. So it's really easy to pick matching colors for your project. Okay, so now we're just filling in our bat a little bit with our licorice. And then ta-da, we have our first bat. So ideally, when we trace our first bat onto our pumpkin, you can go ahead and just trace as many of those bats all on your pumpkin, as many as you want. So then that way you don't have to trace and then paint and then trace and then paint. So that's our bat. Super simple, super easy. Do we have any questions? Any more questions so far, Stephen?
No, I think we're all caught up. We had one that I answered in the chat. So I think we are ready to move on.
Okay, cool. All right, so we're gonna let that dry a little bit. We'll see if we'll have to come back and touch it up with our blow dryer to help it dry a little quicker. But let's go ahead and draw our little ghost friend. So the ghost is super simple to do. What we're gonna do is we're gonna create kind of a dome shape like this. And we're kind of going for a little more of a sheet ghost style. So we made that kind of long a half circle. Now we're going to create a little bit of a squiggly line at the bottom and then just connect it. Super simple. So now let's go ahead and cut that out.
Emma, do you have a favorite color of our glitterific pot paint, or like one that you're partial towards?
I think I do. I really, really love the neon explosion. I love all of those baby pinks and corals that come in it. That's probably my favorite. But if you guys have tried Glitterific Pop before, then please let us know in the comments, what is your favorite Glitterific Pop color? And if you haven't, then I really encourage you to go pick up a bottle at your local Michael's store or at michaels.com. There's some really fun colors, you guys. It is a really fun paint to work with. Okay, so now same thing that we did with the bat. One thing to note too is I like to stagger my designs so that they're not right on top of each other, so that we have some nice, good negative space on our pumpkin. And keeping in mind that towards the end, we're going to go ahead and paint in some hot pink stars in some of the bigger areas of empty space. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and apply some of my white to my palette. I'm going to take a small flat brush again. I'm using a number 8 flat, and we're going to go ahead and fill in our ghost shape with our white. Okay, so once your ghost is painted, I am going to go ahead and take my blow dryer and just dry my 2 little designs really quick so that we can apply our Glitterific pop. Okay, so starting with our black ice, I'm going to go ahead and apply some of that right onto my palette here. A little bit goes a long way, so you don't need too much. I'm going to take another one of my small flat brushes. This is a number 10 flat. And I'm going to pick up some of my Glitterific pop and then just go ahead and brush it onto our bat. So you guys will see that when we start to paint this on, it has a little bit of a milky color, but when we're done, it'll dry just like this with a clear, glossy glitter finish. And even if we don't get little bits of glitter on every single little surface, every single little nook and cranny of our bat, we want to make sure that we get some of that Glitterific pop base all over it so that when it dries to that really beautiful glossy finish. So initially, that's kind of what I'm focused on. I'm making sure that my brush touches every single little inch of our bat. And then if we're not happy with how much glitter was distributed as we were brushing on, we can go back and apply more glitter. But I just want to make sure that some of that base is on every single little point of our bat so that we get that really beautiful glossy finish. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
Okay, so now we can kind of go back in and kind of dab in some of those glitter particles. All right, so now we're gonna let that dry and move on to our little ghost. So I'm just gonna rinse my brush. The great thing about the Glitterific Pop is that the cleanup is really easy too. All you have to do is clean your brush with some water, just like you would with traditional acrylic paint. All right, so next, my favorite color of Glitterific Pop, our Neon Explosion. Okay, taking my number 10 flat, we're just gonna go ahead and fill that in with our glitter pop. Ta-da! All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and use my blow dryer again to dry some of this Glitterific Pop so that you guys can see it in all its glory, nice and dry and shiny. Okay, so once it's dry, you have this really beautiful, shiny, glossy finish with all of those gorgeous specks of glitter. All right, you guys. So I think really all we have is one more thing to do. So I'm going to take another scrap piece of paper and I'm going to draw a star on it. I'm going to take my scissors and cut that guy out. Okay, now lastly, I'm gonna pick a good spot on my pumpkin. I'm gonna do right here. I'm gonna take my pencil and trace our star shape.
So Emma, you said you're going to use bright pink for these stars, but if you didn't want to use bright pink, is there another color that you would suggest?
Yeah, you could really use any color. If you wanted to keep it with a really pastel theme instead of a pretty and pink theme, then you could paint like a pretty lavender would look nice, or a soft blue color, or really black or white again, or traditional like silver or gold on it would be really pretty as well.
Oh, those are good suggestions.
Okay, so taking a really tiny flat brush, a number 6 flat, I'm going to dip it into my bright pink and then go ahead and paint my star. So again, I'm holding my brush perpendicular to my pumpkin to make those really straight lines. And with that, you guys, that is how you make our Glitterific Pop pumpkin. So I hope you guys enjoyed our class today. It was a pleasure painting with you all. If you didn't know, us at Plaid are the makers of Mod Podge and FolkArt products. So we will continue to do lots of fun Halloween and fall and other holiday inspired classes with Michaels all throughout the end of the year. So make sure to keep checking back on the Michaels Community Classroom page to see what's next. If you painted along with me today and you decide to post your creations on social media, I would love to see your finished project. So make sure to hashtag Make It With Michaels and Plaid Crafts. That way we can check under those hashtags and see what you guys created with us. All of these products that we use today, you can find in store at Michaels or on michaels.com. So I hope that you guys were inspired. I hope that you had fun. I hope you learned something new. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with us, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.